I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, that's when you click on that merchandise tab. We're going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you couldn't know, love, and expect from Renegades of Puck are all still available on our online store. Whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to the Renegades of Puck. Something like 88 different items in our online store. Best said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent operation, so here's how you can jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on X and Threads. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok for now. So please help us out. It doesn't take you but a second. It doesn't cost you a single thing, but it sure does go a long way to helping us out here with this operation known as the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on YouTube, and we sure would appreciate a few more subscribers to that channel. We're working really hard to bolster our numbers over there, so jump in the trenches on YouTube by searching out Renegades of Puck and then hitting that subscribe button. If you don't mind, turn on that notification button as well. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the videos. Renegades of Puck TV, all of our different recap and preview segments, interviews, and so much more over there on YouTube. You can find the audio podcast on numerous platforms. You can find us on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, and several other places. Just search Renegades of Puck on your preferred platform today, and you'll be able to find the show. So if you'd like to make a donation to the show, it's Venmo. You can just search out Renegades of Puck on Venmo, or you can scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the operation known as the Renegades of Puck. So if you can spare it, we sure can use it. We can use some help building our climate control system behind the scenes here, helping keep our technology safe and healthy as long as we can. We're going to need to do a little bit of construction here, and it's unfortunately not going to be a cheap project. So that's what the consultant tells us, at least, and that's why the consultant's here, to tell us such bad news. So scan the QR code, and if you can spare a dollar today, please help your local Renegades. Now listen, I know I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm getting twitchy. That means it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It is time for Operation number 892. That is right, show number 892, and at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 70 games skated. That's right, already 70 games done this season. They have a record of 41-25-4. They are 7 points behind an automatic qualifying spot for third place in the Central Division. They are 7 points from first place in the Central Division. They are 9 points clear of the nearest team in the Central behind them in the St. Louis Blues, and they hold a 9-point lead in the wild card race right now. So the Nashville Predators find themselves in a unique position with 12 games to go in the season on home ice, which is where the Preds' next game will take place. They have a record of 19-15-1. The Preds have now scored 230 goals in the season while giving up 206. That's a goal differential of plus 24, and the best that number has been all season long. Now listen, I made a bunch of references to the standings, but let me give you the full updated standings now for the Central and, of course, for the wild card. The Winnipeg Jets currently occupy first place with 93 points, but the Colorado Avalanche occupy second place with 93 points, and the Dallas Stars occupy third place with 93 points. These three teams are going to continue weaving until the final minutes of the season, when someone will win the Central, and then a 2-3 matchup is going to be set for one of these really good teams to be ousted in the first round without a doubt. So the three teams with 93 points continue fighting it out at the top of the division, but the Nashville Predators right there in their rearview mirror, just 7 points back and not slowing up at all. The Preds at 86 points are in fourth place. 77 points for St. Louis in fifth place, 9 points behind Nashville. Then Minnesota in sixth place is 10 points behind the Preds with 76 points. And the Arizona Coyotes are just awaiting their little E now. 61 points, not officially eliminated yet, but they are out of it. 43 points for the Blackhawks. They have their little E. They are done for the season. When it comes to the wild card race, the Nashville Predators are in the wild card 1 position, 86 points. That right now, at this moment in time, would mean a first round series, best of 7 with the Winnipeg Jets. Fascinating. The Vegas Golden Knights are wild card 2 with 81 points. So Vegas is 5 points behind the Predators. The teams on the outside looking in, St. Louis is the first of those. They're at 77 points. Minnesota's at 76. So again, 9 and 10 points behind the Predators are the Blues and the Wild. They are 4 points behind Vegas and 5 points behind Vegas for the final wild card spot. That's got you updated on the standings. Let's talk about the Predators' week ahead after the Predators wrap up this one game against the Detroit Red Wings. Remember to make note of that special time on Saturday at Bridgestone Arena. Tuesday, they'll be home to face off against Vegas. Thursday at Arizona. Saturday at Colorado on the 2nd of April. That's right, we're already to April. Versus the Boston Bruins at Bridgestone Arena on the 4th of April versus the St. Louis Blues at Bridgestone Arena. Now, it's the Detroit Red Wings, and they are in Nashville, and that always brings out a big crowd. It'll be the second of two regular season meetings between these former Central Division rivals, now interconference rivals. It was back on December the 29th when the Preds made their one stop in Detroit this year, falling in overtime. 5-4, UC Saros took the loss, going 18 out of 23. Philip Forsberg had 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Nyquist also had 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Lyon got the victory for the Wings, 33 out of 37. Waltman did the damage with 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Raymond, Larkin, DeBrink had also chipped in, and those 3 names always typically play quite well against the Nashville Predators. Injuries affecting the Predators team at this moment in time, all of the defensive side of things. Fabro, Stastny, Luton, all listed as week to week, and not knowing exactly what the time frame is. Week to week is all that we've been given. Now let's talk about the Nashville Predators' next opponent, the Detroit Red Wings. 36-28-6 on the season. That's 78 points, is 5th overall in the Atlantic Division. 15-17-1 on the road. 242 goals for, 235 against. It's a +7 goal differential. But here's where it gets really interesting for the Detroit Red Wings and why the Nashville Predators have to be careful, because the Wings are coming in hot and hungry. Tampa Bay is the wild card 1 leader in the Eastern Conference with 82 points. The Detroit Red Wings are in the wild card 2 position with 78 points. Washington 3 points behind them, and the New York Islanders, the next team back, 5 points behind. So at this moment, the Detroit Red Wings are in the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. The Nashville Predators are in the first wild card spot in the Western Conference. So 2 playoff qualified wild card teams at this moment in time facing off at Bridgestone Arena. The wild card for Detroit is much more in question, so they are certainly going to be fighting for every single point that they can possibly get. So something to keep in mind going into this matchup. There is quite a bit on the line for the Detroit Red Wings. They are trying to protect their playoff spot, just like the Nashville Predators. Their most recent stretch of 5, let's go back and talk about it. On the 14th of March, it was a 4-1 loss to the Arizona Coyotes, followed up on the 16th of March with a 4-1 win versus the Buffalo Sabres. On the 17th, a 6-3 loss at the Pittsburgh Penguins. On the 19th, a 4-3 overtime win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Most recently, a 6-3 win versus New York Islanders on the 21st of March. Reimer picks up the victory in net, 33 out of 36 in that game. When it comes to the NHL rankings in this matchup, let's talk about the numbers. We go through 6 major statistical metrics. We always start with goals for. The Predators at 3.26, are 12th overall in the NHL, and they have moved up quite a bit in recent weeks. Goals for Detroit, impressive number right here, 3.43 per game, is 7th best overall in the National Hockey League. In the goals against category, the Preds giving up 2.94 per game is 10th best overall in the NHL, while Detroit gives up 3.36 per game. That's 25th. Shots for, Preds 11th rated, 31.6 per game. Detroit 24th rated, 28.6 per game. When it comes to the shots against category, the Predators are 18th rated in the NHL, giving up 30.2 per game, while the Wings give up 32.5 per game. That's 27th rated in the NHL. When it comes to the special team situation, the Wings have the better power play rating at number 11 overall in the NHL, converting at 23.1%, or 56 out of 243 opportunities. The Predators converting at 20.1%, are 19th in the NHL, 47 out of 234 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill unit, it is again the Wings ahead in this particular metric. 80.1% is their kill rate, 15th best in the NHL, right in the middle of the pack. 43 power play goals against. The Nashville Predators have a kill rate of 76.7%. That's 23rd overall in the NHL. 49 power play goals against. Every team in the NHL has plenty of high-skilled individuals, but we always like to talk about the top 5 leading individual scorers for each particular team. Let's start with the updated statistics on the Nashville Predators side of the ledger, the home team. Philip Forsberg continues to lead the team in goals scored, now with 38, and assists 39, and total points 77. So leads in goals and leads in total points. Roman Josi second on the team with 18 goals, 53 assists for 71 points. With 53 assists, leads the tops in that category. Nyquist is at 19 goals and 43 assists, 62 points. While the season, O'Reilly 24 and 34 for 58, and Tommy Novak 15 goals, 24 assists for 39 points on the season. Over on the other side of the ledger for the Wings, Raymond at 24 goals and 36 assists for 60 points. DeBrincat always dangerous against the Nashville Predators, has already scored against them this season. So has Raymond. So has Larkin. 23 goals for DeBrincat, 34 assists, 57 total points. Larkin's 28 goals, 20 assists for 56 points. Gosberg 10 and 37 for 47. Sprong is a dangerous player against this Predators team. He was quite good against them when he was in Seattle, and he's also done well against them in Detroit. 17 goals, 23 assists for 40 points on the season. Anticipated goaltending matchup has Lyon for the Detroit Red Wings at 18, 15, and 2, and 903 save percentage, and a 3.10 goals against average, also with 2 shutouts on the season, versus UC Saros 30, 21, and 4, a 908 save percentage, a 2.78 goals against average, 2 shutouts on the season. That's going to do it for getting you all set up for the Nashville Predators Saturday afternoon affair against the Detroit Red Wings. They'll close out the 2-game regular season series and look to continue their point scoring streak against another wild card team, this time from the Eastern Conference. That's going to do it for the preview. Let's get back to the recap. It's the Rebirth Sports full game recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to March 21st of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were in Florida to take on the Panthers. Head coach Andrew Brunette deploys his lines of defensive combinations in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Zucker, Sissons, and Evangelista, Jankowski, Novak, and Evangelista, and Beauvillier, actually, Sherwood, McCarron, and Smith, Yossi, and Shen, McDonough, and Barry, Del Gaizo, and Carrier are your defensive pairings, and Lankinen gets the start down in South Florida. We are just 19 seconds into the first period when Bobrovsky comes up with a save on Michael McCarron's first shot on goal of the game at 1:01 of the first period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Bennett. It's his first save and touch of the game at the 2:54 mark of the first period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Montour, 3:35. Another save on Verhaeghe at the 4:02 mark of the first period. It's Zucker versus Cousins. 5 minutes each. This actually had nothing to do with the Nashville Predators or this game in particular. These two had a dispute from earlier in the season that they needed to settle, and they did settle at 5 minutes each. We move on. 5:29 in the first period. Verhaeghe's off the box. 2 minutes for hooking. We find our first special team scenario of the game for the Nashville Predators on the power play. Bobrovsky comes with a save on Luke Evangelista, and that would do it. Credit to the penalty killers and also to the Florida Panthers there for their aggressiveness in this scenario. At 8:26 in the first period, Bobrovsky comes with a save on Shen's heavy shot at the 8:56 mark. Bobrovsky comes with a 5-star save on O'Reilly at the back post, sliding across an incredible highlight reel save right here. 10:57 mark. The first period is Bobrovsky coming up with a save on Sherwood. 11:15, another save on O'Reilly at 11:51 of the first period. Lankinen back to work, coming up with a save on Bennett at the 12:40 mark of the first period. Sergei Bobrovsky comes up with a save on Ryan McDonough. Those two have certainly had some battles over the years. The 16:21 mark. Bobrovsky comes with another save on Sherwood here in the first period. And at the 17:13 mark, we find Bobrovsky coming up with another save on O'Reilly. The two of them were certainly doing battle here in the first period. 17:47 mark of the first, we find our first score breakthrough for the Nashville Predators. Nyquist, his 19th goal of the season, comes as there is a whole cluster around the top of the crease, all hacking, whacking, and jamming away at the loose puck. It is Nyquist who pulls it out and then puts it right back into the net. A lot of rebound jam off of Forsberg's initial shot right here gives the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead and gives Gus Nyquist his 19th goal of the season. At the 17:50 mark of the first period, it's Smith versus Gadjevich. 5 minutes each right here, our second tilt of the first period. A big takedown at the end of that fight. 18:31 of the first period. Lankinen comes in with a save on Tarasenko at the 19:32 mark of the first period. It's Captain Roman Yossi for the Nashville Predators off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping, giving the Florida Panthers their first power play opportunity. They would only have 28 seconds of the remaining of the period. They would not generate any shots on goal. The first period would come to its conclusion. The Predators out shooting the Florida Panthers 14-5 and leading the game 1-0 after 20 minutes. Carryover of the power play for the Florida Panthers onto the clean sheet of 132, and that's where we pick up the action with Lankinen coming in with a save on Verhaeghe, and then Lankinen would have to come up with a save on Tkachuk. The power play had just expired, so I call it the continuation of the power play. So another big stop right here by Kevin Lankinen. As a matter of fact, he's about to go to work here at the start of the second period. We're at the 2:20 mark now, just after the power play Lankinen's coming with a save on Stenlund. And at 2:42, Lankinen another save on Cousins, former Nashville Predator. 4:02 mark, Lankinen continues his work, and he comes with a save on Mahara. At the 5-minute mark, it is Bobrovsky coming up with a save on Carey. It's his first touch of the period, so Kevin Lankinen simply dominant for the first 5 minutes of this period. 5:58 mark of the second period is Bobrovsky coming with a save on Zucker. At the 6:21 mark of the second is Ekman Larson off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking Nashville Predators power play back to work, and that's where we find Philip Forsberg with a high redirect of Barry's long shot, putting the puck into the net. His 37th goal of the season. First a discussion, then a review, then the decision that the goal would stand and it would count, and this was the right call. Forsberg's 37th team leading for the Nashville Predators gives the Preds a 2-0 lead at the 7:40 mark of the second period. Bobrovsky coming in with a save on Sherwood. The 8:39 mark of the second, it's Lankinen coming with a save on Forsling, and then at 9:31 another save right there on Forsling. At 11:13 of the second period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Cousins. We flip over to the back of the sheet, and we continue on with second period action. We're now at the 11:49, just past the halfway point of this game, and Lankinen's coming in with a huge save on Rodriguez from in close range. Lankinen was simply spectacular here in this second period. 12:23 mark of the second, Lankinen comes up with another save on Montour. 13:44, Bobrovsky a save on Michael McCarron. At the 15:09 mark of the second, Bobrovsky comes up with a save on Mark Del Gaizo. Del Gaizo making a difference in his opportunities here. 16:44, Bobrovsky another save on Smith's deflection at close range. 17:39, Bobrovsky another save on Zucker. And at 18:28 of the second period, Lankinen coming up with a save on Lundell. The final 90 seconds would roll by without much action. The Nashville Predators go into the break out shooting the Florida Panthers 28-21 in this game overall. So for the Predators, 14 shots on goal in the first, 14 shots on goal in the second. The Florida Panthers go from 5 shots on goal in the first to 21 overall in the game. So it was a huge second period for Kevin Lankinen, making 16 saves right there in the middle frame. We roll over to the clean sheet, and we find the 53-second mark of the third period is where we'll pick up the action. That's where the captain, Roman Josi, is getting a minor penalty. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Lankinen clocks in, goes to work, comes up with a save on Reinhart, and then Lankinen also comes up with a save on Tkachuk. Impressive job by the Nashville Predators penalty kill in this situation, disallowing the Florida Panthers to get themselves back into this game. At the 2:59 mark of the third period, we find Lankinen coming up with another save on Lundell. At 4:39 of the third period, Bobrovsky comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. Haven't heard his name a whole lot in this game, but there he is, getting a shot on goal at 4:39 of the third. The 5-minute mark of the third period, Lankinen coming with a save on Tkachuk, and there's Verhaeghe following up. That is the Florida Panthers 1-2 punch options, and Lankinen is turning both of them away early here in the third period. 6:08 mark of the third period. Now Lankinen comes up with a save on Reinhart. 6:24 mark. Nashville Predators back onto the power play as Luosterainen picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for slashing. We find Sergei Bobrovsky coming with a save on Tyson Barrie. But that would be it for the Nashville Predators power play. Really unable to get themselves organized and situated. Not a lot of zone time. Not a lot of anything on this power play. But the most important thing might be that 2 minutes come off of the clock right here in the third period. We're past the midway point of the third period now, and we're at 10:29. We find Bobrovsky coming with a save on Carey at the 11:49 mark. Bobrovsky back to work, coming up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. At 12:43 of the third period, we find Lankinen coming up with a save on Luosterainen. And at the 14:19 mark of the third period, it's Philip Forsberg on the score sheet again. This time, his 38th goal of the season, his second goal of the game. And this was some significant net front jam. At first, perhaps some question as to who had actually put the puck in. Did Nyquist get a touch on it? But Philip Forsberg just relentlessly poking, jabbing, and jamming away at the puck. Finally gets it to go. So Philip Forsberg, his 38th goal of the season, of course, team leading for the Nashville Predators, gives the Preds a 3-0 lead down in South Florida. Highly improbable. 15:22 now of the third period, and it's Lankinen coming up with yet another save on Lundell. And at 17:39, Lankinen comes up with a save on Tkachuk, and that's going to close things out in this game for the Nashville Predators. So 33 shots on goal for the Florida Panthers at the end of the third period. That means Lankinen Lankinen comes up with 12 more stops here in the third period. 5 stops in the first, 16 stops in the second, 12 more in the third equals a shutout for Kevin Lankinen, securing his 10th victory of the regular season. Nashville Predators finishing with 37 shots on goal. And again, whatever measuring sticks you have left, the Nashville Predators are responding to every single one of them. This was absolutely one of the hardest games left on the schedule for the Nashville Predators. And not only did they go in there and get a victory, but they were pretty dominant in this one. You win 3-0 on the road with your backup goaltender in net. That is a dominant performance. So again, the Nashville Predators go into South Florida and win this game 3-0 out, shooting the Florida Panthers 37-33, and they continue the now franchise record point scoring streak. 16 consecutive games at the end of this one, picking up the 2 points, continuing to put the pressure on the teams in front of them, continuing to put separation on the teams behind them. And while the bench may have been shortened a little bit in the third period, you see that Andrew Brunette is still willing to try to roll all 4 lines, even against the most significant and best competition in the league, even on the road. So it was a tough Eastern Conference, interconference affair, but the Nashville Predators come out on top. They split the season series with the Florida Panthers, and that in itself is highly impressive because the Panthers are easily one of the best teams over in the Eastern Conference and certainly looking to make another run like they did last season. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Nashville Predators 3, Florida Panthers 0. So much more coming up. Analysis, opinion, box score, and more coming up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Time to talk about the analysis and the opinion portion of things. Lankinen got the start in this game. 33 saves on 33 opportunities. His first shutout of the season, his 10th win of the season. It was a fantastic performance by any metric, any measurable. He made athletic saves. He made timely saves, made important saves. And Lankinen, frankly, took on one of the best teams in the NHL in their home rink and shut them out completely. Do not underrate this particular performance from the backup netminder from the Nashville Predators. This was an incredible and fantastic performance from Lankinen, and I'm happy to see him in double digits in wins. He came in this season really ready to perform as the backup for this Predators team and has shown GMs around the league that he could be capable of taking over a number 1 spot. That's what made Lankinen valuable going into the trade deadline, and you see now why the Predators hung on to him. In a pinch, Lankinen can go out there and beat the best, and he's proven he can do it a couple of times now this season. Forsberg leads the charge with 2 goals in this game, plus 1 assist for 3 points, 77 points on the season in 70 games. Remember when he dipped just below a point per game pace, and we were starting to think, man, it's been a good run this season, but maybe Phil is starting to run out of steam a little bit. Phil Brewery didn't necessarily present the results that we were looking for in the goals category, but March is suddenly roaring for Philip Forsberg, and now 7 points over the number of games played, 77 points in 70 games played, 38 goals, 40 goals, I think, is assured now. He's feasting at this time of year. I think he's going to continue feasting. You look at some of the teams that they'll be facing off against in the upcoming Detroit Red Wings, and Philip Forsberg's always played quite well against Detroit, against Arizona, against Colorado, against St. Louis. Philip Forsberg's got an opportunity here to make a run at the franchise record for goals scored in a season, and for his second career 40-goal season. 38 now, feasting at this time at the right time. Nyquist also picks up up a goal in this game. It happens to be the game-winning goal, the first goal of the game, bringing the Jam to career highs. Gus Nyquist has got to be thinking, man, I made the right call signing with this Nashville Predators team in free agency because he has just fit in now. He's a first-line winger. He's thriving with this team. He's setting career highs in assists and total points. He's not going to get to his career high in goals, but he still looks like he's going to have a 20-goal season. For just a second last night, it looked like he did have that 20-goal season, but that ended up going to Forsberg instead. But Nyquist with the game-winning goal in that game in Florida on the road, and he's just been bringing the Jam all season long. It's great to see someone getting rewarded out there. O'Reilly, 2 assists in this game, plus 18:40 of total time on ice. And you know what? Andrew Brunette leaned on him to get this victory. Ryan O'Reilly has been leaned on many times in his career. He is used to it. He's a solid veteran that can be a beast of burden and handle the most important minutes at the most important times against the best teams. And this was a night where Brunette had to shorten the bench just a little bit. More on that thought in just a second. But 2 assists. 18:40 time on ice is the leader of all of the forwards in this game. But again, Brunette leaned on O'Reilly and leaned on the more veteran players on this team, especially in the third period, to secure the victory in Florida. You're going to have to do that in a best-of-7 series. It's great to have all 4 lines rolling, but there are going to be nights where you're going to have to depend on your top guys to get you that top W, and that's exactly what happened in this one. As you see, we just discussed Forsberg, Nyquist, O'Reilly. Those were the primary scorers in this game. And a shortened bench for sure in the third period. Beauvillier ends up only skating 9:45 in this game. Tommy Novak ends up with only 9:10, and you can see Zucker at 12:50. You can see Jankowski at 11:42. This was some of the less balanced time on ice for the forwards. Not rolling 4 lines there in the third period. It was more like rolling 2 lines there in the third period because it seemed like the coach maybe didn't defensively trust a couple of those players against one of the more high-skilled, high-scoring teams in the league. So just something to watch. It's not something we've seen a whole lot during the point-scoring streak that we've been observing and witnessing for the last couple of weeks. So shortening the bench, not rolling all 4 lines in the third period, showed that Andrew Brunette understood the situation, made an adjustment to his typical way of thinking and strategy, which is also another positive sign for this Predators team, because how many times have we had a coaching staff that just continued banging their head against the wall and trying to run their system and their strategy and what they wanted to do, no matter how many times it didn't work. Andrew Brunette is showing he's willing to adjust on the fly, and this was an adjustment on the fly here, shortening the bench there in the third period to secure victory. All right, that's going to do it for the analysis portion of things. Let's hear from our incredible friends, Stripe Digital Solutions, great partners to the show. So lucky and so thankful to have such great people working with us here behind the scenes. Stripe Digital Solutions, and back right after this on the Renegades of Puck podcast. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Welcome back in. Time for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score when it comes to goals scored for the Nashville Predators. All 3 goals scored by forwards, 2 of them by Philip Forsberg, 1 of them by Nyquist. Nyquist was the game-winning goal. When it comes to assists, a little bit more distribution. Ryan O'Reilly led the team with 2. Nyquist and Forsberg also chip in with an assist in this game. Down on the bottom side of the ledger for the defensemen, Barry and Yossi add assists to this game. So Roman Yossi adds another point to his all-time franchise-leading total. When it comes to shots on goal, 3 truly was the magic number, as a whole host of Predators ended up with 3 shots on goal. I'm going to go ahead and honor every single one of them right now. Why not? Evangelista, Forsberg, McCarron, O'Reilly, Sherwood, Zucker, Barry, and Carrier, all with 3 shots on net in this game, tied for the lead amongst Nashville Predators. And when it comes to the blocked shots category, 3 was the magic number again. This time it was by Ryan McDonough. Nobody else on the team with more than 2. When it comes to the physical component of things, missing Jeremy Luzon, but Mark Del Gaizo chips in with a nice crooked number, putting a 5 spot on the board. for hits, 4 for Sissons, 4 for Shen. When it comes to time on ice leader, we just discussed about the shortened bench. You'll notice that here with the time on ice leaders when I tell you that Ryan O'Reilly 1840 and then Nyquist 1820 and Forsberg 1802 were the time on ice leaders, riding the top line and the top trio to the victory in this game. Time on ice losers in this game ended up being, without a doubt, Beauvillier at only 9:45, Tommy Novak at only 9:10, and then Zucker at 12:50, Jankowski at 11:42. You can see how the bench was shortened. You can see exactly who got the time and who didn't. On the defensive side of things, 24-29 for the captain, Roman Josi, 23-58 for McDonough. No other defenseman over 19 minutes. When it comes to the power play time on ice, the power play was 1 for 3 in this game for the Nashville Predators. 4:04 on the ice for Nyquist, 3:57 for Forsberg, 3:59 for O'Reilly, 4 minutes for Barry, 3:33 for Roman Josi. The penalty kill for the Preds was a perfect 2-4-2, 1:33 on the ice for O'Reilly, 2:27 for Sissons in penalty killing time on ice, 1:53 for Mark Del Gaizo, 2:23 for McDonough, and 1:55 for Luke Shen. Kevin Lankinen in net was 33 out of 30, made 30 even strength saves, 3 power play saves, an in-game save percentage of 1,000, and his first shutout of the season. A couple other things falling out of the box score before we jump out of this cold, hard segment. Face-off winning percentage for the Predators, 52.6. Good number, but it could have been better. 29 hits. That is a nice number right there. 16 block shots, 14 takeaways, 7 giveaways. When takeaways double up giveaways, that's always a good sign. The Predators go into South Florida and defeat one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference and last year's Eastern Conference representative in the Stanley Cup Final. So Nashville Predators secure a 3-0 victory over the Florida Panthers. Before we close the show out, I want to take you to Utica, New York. I'd love to actually take you there. I'd love to take all of us there. It's a fantastic hockey scene right there. But it is, in fact, where the USPHL Premier National Tournament is taking place right now. At this very moment, there are games ongoing. As a matter of fact, they're wrapping up the seeding round today, and then it will be a single elimination tournament, seeds 1 through 16, over the next couple of days. The Nashville Spartans made their Nationals debut in Utica by facing off against the Bold City Battalion out of Jacksonville. And after this, they will face off against the Wisconsin River Rapids Kings. So let's take you to Utica, New York, and let's show you what happened in the action between the Nashville Spartans and the Bold City Battalion.
The festivities behind us, nothing left to do but play national championship hockey. It all comes down to the next 6 days. One team will reign supreme. To your left in the white, blue, and red, the Nashville Spartans, the boys from the Music City, a team led in by Ronan Keenan, a young man who has had an absolutely stellar career in the USPHL Premier and has been a fun player to cover. Keenan now going to break this one away. Short-handed, tries the hand in front. Davidson, quick shots high, scores! Davidson, the short-handed hero. Water bottles, beware! C.J. Davidson, bar, da! Handed on corner, Walls. Walls back up top, Elrod, quick tap along. Grinsvall, shot, scores! Hits a power play goal. The shot from Grinsvall finds its way home, and a tie game we have. Emil Grinsvall, the 6'3" tall Swede. Studebaker hands on. Dancing through center is Janssen. Janssen back up for Studebaker. Studebaker to Elrod now. Elrod thought about a shot. Wrap around try. It's loose in front. He scores it. It's a power play goal. Bold City's second power play score of the day, and Sebastian Elrod under the pads. How do you kill a 5-on-3 penalty? Great goaltending, right? It's going to take great goaltending. There's no way you're keeping a shot away from the netminder. Winslow's getting it done there so far. Trouble not done yet.
But when we talk about Winslow, let's not forget Dusic's made a couple of saves in this period. This game could really have turned into a 2-3 goal game. He's made a couple of big stops at the other end.
Mr. Educate in here, the academic as we call him on the Dan K show. He's got a big game tonight in prime time. Up for Karaman. Taken by McHale, shot, scores! scores! El Capitan rights the ship, sailing the seas, a power play goal, and this is Sparta. McHale for Karaman. He'll carry this one along, gets through two, trying to get the shot off, could not. Hand stays down, up top, free with a quick shot, high, scores it! Splash! Poole pots it home! Poole stays cool, and the Spartans lead by one. Grinsvall near side, trailed in front, the shot from Elrod stick to side. Rebound try from Walls is blocked by Sterling. Caught him in the wrist there, lost the stick, in pain right now in front of the net, staying involved in the play. Swing and a miss there at point-blank range. Elrod will skate it around. He's already got one power play goal in this one. So does Grinsvall, who he hands to. That shot quickly taken, steered aside. Save made by Duzak and cleared. This is the last swing for Bold City. Can they get it done? Can Nashville hold on and start the tournament 1-0? Pass to McHale. He'll chase after it, 13 seconds to go. Spinning it. If it gets out of the zone, that will be it. Out the center it comes. Flynn will take it off him. 5 seconds left to go. At the empty net, knocked down out of the air. A huge play by Bradshaw. But this is Sparta! Nashville, the Music City, singing songs of victory live from Utica, New York. 1-0, a +1 goal differential, and a tie for first place with the Metro Jets development program after Game 1 of the USPHL Premier Nationals. The Nashville Spartans 3-2 victorious in Game 1 of USPHL Premier Nationals. We'll be back with more hockey all day long, all week long, live from the Utica University Nexus Center. For Tristan Jensen to my right, Jacob Smilovich, ice side, Lucas Jones, and Sean Bretherick, our engineers extraordinaire. I am Dan Kay. Keep following along. Go to @USPHL Hockey in just a moment for the live update of the standings board after the first few games at USPHL Nationals. When Dan Kay's on the mic, it's always Hockey Night.
Good job by the Nashville Spartans right there, securing that victory. Now, moving on to their second game in the seeding round versus the Wisconsin River Rapids Kings. The Nashville Spartans should find themselves in the top half of the bracket, setting themselves up with a good seed. Went there from second place in the Great Lakes Division, their first ever playoff berth, taking care of home ice advantage over the Toledo Cherokee, and then heading on up to Utica. And now 1-0 so far in the national tournament, seeding round to determine who faces off in the single elimination tournament coming up. The Nashville Spartans have an opportunity to compete for a national championship. Great job by the Spartans up there in Utica. Wish I was up there with the team. And to close this episode out, a new franchise record point streak for this Nashville Predators team. This Nashville Predators team, this Predators team right here, this one, the team that got a brand new GM that happened to have been their first ever head coach, and it was his first job as a GM. The job just handed off to him. No questions asked. Barry Trotz comes in, starts making some moves. This team, this is the team right here we're talking about. Andrew Burnett gets hired. Andrew Burnett is the first hire by Barry Trotz, the new administration of the Nashville Predators. Andrew Burnett had never been a head coach. He had been passed over in Florida. He didn't get the opportunity in New Jersey. Hell, he would have ended up being the Devils coach of this season midway through if he had just stayed there. But why stay there when you can come to Nashville? Was it the obvious choice? No. Was it the most popular choice? No. But this team right here hired Andrew Burnett, and Andrew Burnett came in here and started talking about how he was going to make the team faster. He was going to make them score more, and the point of the game was going to be offensively driven. And I'm still talking about this team, the Nashville Predators. I'm talking about this current 2023-2024 Nashville Predators team, the team that traded off a bunch of noteworthy names at the end of last season and made a bunch more changes during the offseason, bringing in free agents that most people just threw their arms up and flailed about and said, why does a team in a rebuild need Ryan O'Reilly? Who is Gus Nyquist, and why do we need him? And well, the Luke Shen thing, we can just let that sit where it is. But it's this team brought in that GM, that coach, these players, and now it's this team that's in one of the most unique positions that I've seen a Nashville Predators team be in. They are somewhat secure in their playoff future. They have it 100% in their own control. They are at 86 points right now with 12 games to go. They are just 7 points out of first place in the Central Division, and they have a 9-point lead over the teams chasing them in the wild card. This team right here is suddenly in a position to be an incredibly dangerous team. UC Saros now at 30 victories, Lankinen at 10 victories. The scoring continues and is consistent from Forsberg, now approaching 40 goals rapidly. Yossi is as hot as he has been at any point in time in his career. And yes, I know he had a 96-point season. Right now, he is every bit as good as he was at any time that season. Nyquist has been a revelation as a free agent with 62 points. O'Reilly gets better the longer his beard gets this time of year. And for the Nashville Predators, they're finding a way to roll 4 lines. This team right here that not a single pundit, not a single analyst gave a chance to be competing for the division in any way, shape, or form, finds themselves single digits, 7 points from first, second, and third place in the Central Division with 12 games remaining in the season. This team right here was supposed to lose, was supposed to wash out, was supposed to trade everything away and get more draft picks and continue building for the future while they got their brains beaten in at Bridgestone Arena night after night. That's not what this team has done. This team has adopted the word relentless and started coming out and putting up career-high seasons offensively from players like Michael McCarron and Sherwood and Smith. And there are others that are involved in having such significant years. It reminds me of teams in the past that have made runs. This Nashville Predators team cannot be taken lightly. This team, as silly as it seems, as silly as it sounds, you cannot take this Nashville Predators team lightly. I would not take this Nashville Predators team lightly. They are in control of their own destiny, and if they truly believe in the relentless nature of the play that they put up over the last 16 games, as they've set a career, a franchise record for consecutive games with a point. Not the team that won the President's Trophy, not the team that won the division, not the team that went to the Stanley Cup final. This team right here that was expected to finish near the damn bottom of the entirety of the league and sell off anything that was left and continue rebuilding for the next 3 to 5 years. This team right here is in control of their own destiny, and they are a threat to the Western Conference bracket. Why? Because they're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be in control of their own destiny, and with the relentless no half-step in nature and attitude that they've got, they are in control right now, and they have an opportunity to play loose, play free, and make a run. And somebody gets an opportunity every year to have a feeling like this, and the Nashville Predators know that they are a threat to any team above them. The team that they would end up facing if it ended right now would be the Winnipeg Jets. They just went into Winnipeg and put up a statement game against the Jets in a best-of-7 series. How would it play out? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. That's going to do it for this episode of Renegades of Puck podcast. Thank you so much for joining us right here in the bunker. Operation Up 892 is in the books. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.